Yep. And then hop over to YouTube real quick and let's see if it pops up on the confidence monitor.
Is it on private though?
Yeah, it's on private. You're just going to want to swap that to public.
Public.
And then there we are. So yes, it's working.
Okay, but you gotta change it to public. Okay, guys, I'm also live on YouTube as we speak. The show's about to start. Okay, how do I go back? I love you, Michelle. I just want to say that. Shout out.
I'm also gonna have you record on OBS too
Okay.
while we're thinking about it.
Yes. Where is record?
Start recording.
Right there. You know I can't see, girl.
That's okay.
Alrighty, we're starting. Okay,
Yes.
guys. All right. So we're gonna start up. You're gonna be in charge of the cameras?
You want me to be in charge of the cameras? I'm doing the switching.
Yay! Okay, we're gonna
Yes.
start.
Yes. Okay. I guess I'm.
We're gonna
sorry,
say
guys.
Buenos dias, but just together.
Okay.
Buenos dias, bitches.
I'm sorry. I was not ready.
This is our first
I'm
episode.
not ready.
That's okay. That is okay.
Okay.
Ready?
Buenos dias, bitches.
My name is Elsa, girl, you crazy, and I'm with
Michelle.
Yes, and today we have a wonderful guest that I've been so excited for. Her name is Wonder. She is wonderful, and you know what to say, girl.
Buenos dias, bitches!
Yes.
Yes, I love. She said she was practicing that, right? You were
Yes, I
practicing?
have been practicing that.
You have to just get out your comfort zone. So, Wonder, please
Yes.
tell us who you are and what you do, and tell us more about you.
Hello, everyone. First, thank you for having me on your podcast. It's greatly appreciated. My name is Wonder, and I am a certified dating coach. I do have a podcast. I stream a lot on Facebook. If you can please follow me on Facebook, Dating Reset Podcast. My vision is to reset the mindset when it comes to dating, one conversation at a time. I do have a co-host, a male co-host. His name is Walter Fry. And what we do is we have gender-neutral conversations without pointing the finger. We listen to hear and not to respond. And one of the things I want to point out is that relationships. So when you think about a relationship, there's a lot of things that fall under that umbrella. There's friendships, there's co-workers, the relationships that you have with your co-workers. So there's different types of relationships that fall under that umbrella. What I want people to focus on is when you're dating, you're not in a relationship. You're collecting data. And oftentimes people confuse dating and relationships. They try to bridge the gap. And when you're dating, there's important conversations that you need to have before you enter into a relationship. So you're collecting data to see if the person you're dating is a potential to be in a relationship moving forward.
Okay. See, me and her had a conversation a couple of weeks, maybe a month ago, I think, a couple months ago. And where did we left off?
Well, that's interesting. So can you give me an update on the status of the dating?
So the last
situationship,
situation. Let me tell you something. Okay. So the last thing I told you, it was that I really liked him and I didn't want to feel like I'm going to self-sabotage. Remember that? But he tells me that he really likes me too. He was just trying to find time. And then you told me to specifically ask him, what's your love language? Remember that? And I did ask him. And he said physical touch. And I was like, oh, me too. But you're not very like touchy. And then he said, well, I only like to be like that with my significant other, meeting like my girlfriend, but not with just somebody you're talking to. But if we're keeping it real with everybody, I told you we did, we're consenting adults, so we did already cross that line. So I was still like, okay, but we already did that, so why are you telling me you're not going to be physically touchy with me, like holding hands or like going on a date and like just, grabbing my waist or something? Do you know why he would do that, or he just like...
Well, the thing is, you specifically asked him questions to get clarity.
Yeah.
So when you go with the flow and don't ask specific questions, so after we had that conversation, I told you to ask him specific questions. Once you reset your expectations and you're resetting your boundaries when it comes to dating, it changes the dynamics of the relationship. So you were clear, you wanted clarity around why aren't you touching me? We were intimate. We're so where are we going with this? And he couldn't really.
He couldn't put it. He couldn't say it.
Yes,
why.
he couldn't even say why. And because of that, what happened?
Because So then after that, I was like, so when is the next time we're gonna see each other? And then he tells me, oh, I told you, like, I'm gonna have my mom's birthdays coming up, and then 2 weeks after that is my niece's birthday, and then after that is my dad's birthday. So I don't know if like our times align. So I was just like, okay, but if you want to, you make time. I feel like everybody tells you that if you really want to, you're gonna make time. And then he's like, well, I understand, like, maybe that's why we're better as friends, right? So then I said, okay, so you just want to be friends. And that's okay. And then the next day, I didn't reply back, and then he didn't say anything. And then he tells me that he was upset because I made it seem like, okay, if you have other things to do, I don't care about it. So then I got mixed signals because, like, that's not what I was trying to say. I was trying to tell you I'm okay, like, it's fine, like, if that's what you want to do. So then after that, he's telling me, oh, no, that's not what I wanted to say. Like, that's just that I'm busy. So that's where I get confused. I'm like, are you busy or you don't want to make time for me?
Yeah. See, that's why it's important during the dating stages to figure out your dating style. There's a bunch of different styles and type of dating out there. There's, friends with benefits. There's situationships. So there's dating with intent. You have to be clear on the type of dating that you want to pursue moving forward, and that's important. You have to make sure that the person that you're dating is their dating style, to make sure that you're both aligned with the dating styles. If you don't have those type of conversations in the beginning and be clear about dating, it's going to create a lot of confusion.
See, that's what your girl was confused. But that's where it ended with that, right? I let it be. I tried not to like apologize or like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it like that. But at the end of the day, I was still confused. And then he pretty much told me, but I still want to come see you. I still want to see you. And then he left it as, but I think we're better as friends. So I was like, that's fine. And he's like, yeah, but I still want to hang out. So clearly he just wanted to have relationships and that's it. Right? So fast forward to make this a little bit shorter. I ended up meeting another guy, right? And this is the crazy part. I told you that story. We were talking for 2 weeks. Sweet guy. I took your advice, not, don't do anything, just regular date.
Yep.
We went on a regular date. He's telling me that he's so ready to have a relationship, that he's been in a relationship for more than 7 years with this girl in his early 20s. But then he didn't want to marry her because that was not for him, right? And then 3-4 years later, now he's ready to settle down. So he's telling me his whole background story. Pouring out his heart to me, letting me know how he is so serious. And I'm like, taking it little by little because I don't know if he's really meaning. And then he's like, I can't wait to see you again. He's planning the next date, right? So when he's planning the next date, I'm like, cool. He's like, what do you like to do? I like arcades. Oh, so sorry, guys. Can we put this on mute?
Yeah, we can put this
It's
on
my
mute.
mother. I'm muted. Oh my god, it was getting good too.
Oh,
So guys, the first time. I don't know if you guys see questions? Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Technical difficulties. But we're back and we're gonna be talking about what just happened with this guy that I was thinking that he was super serious, but he really wasn't. Like, you guys know about this. We're also live on TikTok, guys. And long story short, we planned out he planned the whole thing, and we're going to go to arcades, and we're going to go eat sushi after. Cool. 2 o'clock hits, and then he's telling me, oh, what are you going to be wearing? Like, so we can match. Yeah, cute, right? Still in the head that we're going to go see each other. And then 4 o'clock hits, because he told me 4 o'clock. And then I text him, like, hey, so what time exactly, so I can be ready? Didn't reply. And then he just pretty much died. I have no idea what happened to him. Absolutely no idea.
Wow.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So
Wow.
my thing is, when he started talking about the matching outfits, 2 weeks in, a yellow flag. That's a yellow flag. We have to, so there's the talking phase before you even go on the date. Like, there's really steps to this process before you even go on the date. I call it the talking phase. And there's critical, crucial questions that you should have before you even go on the date. And, you know, that will determine whether the date is going to happen. So that's one of the things we have to be mindful of is the talking phase. Oftentimes what happens is people will slide in your DM or you'll bump into each other and you exchange phone numbers and then bang, you go on that first date. You make plans to go on that first date and then you go on that date and there's no chemistry, there's no conversation going on during the dating, and it's like it's a waste of time. So it's important to have you know, the texting is old. Pick up the phone and have a conversation. You know, feel the person out, ask open-ended questions that you need follow-through answers on, and that will determine whether you should even go on the first date with someone.
Ooh, see, because I did go on the first date really quick with him too, because I was like kind of sad about the other guy. I was like, oh, let me just go on this other date.
Yeah.
All right, but the story don't end there. So I was bummed out that I had no date on a Saturday night, and I'm a single mom, and this is my only weekend off, and I always have people. I call it the roster. You know, every lady has a roster. So I had another guy that really liked me, but I wasn't really into him. But I didn't want to take advantage. But I really wanted to go out that night, and I went out that day with this other guy. Really nice guy, not my type. Super nice, but we ended as like, oh, you're gonna have a good time because he's going to Thailand. And then as soon as I went on this date with that guy, this situationship guy that I had since last June called me and it's so long. And then he wanted to see me again. And I haven't seen him over months because he ghosted me, but then he unghosted me because he said it wasn't his fault. But long story short, he lives in Vermont. He drove 2 hours to come see me that night. And then we hung out, and then he left in the morning. We had breakfast. Everything was fine. But do you think that was wrong of me to do? Or do you think I have my abilities to do what I want to do?
Well, someone's asking, will you guys be talking just about dating or marriage as well?
A little bit of both. Because I feel like it goes back. Because I want to get married.
Right. But I do want to specify that I am a dating coach. And that's where it's important. Like I can answer questions regarding. I'm not a relationship coach. That's not my specialty. I really want to focus on dating. But if there's a question out there that I'm comfortable answering, I will. But I really want to be laser focused on dating because people do not do that very well. And that's why we have a lot of failed relationships. I just want to say that.
But do you think what I did was wrong?
Well, I don't think there's a right or wrong. This is a learning process, and when the dates fall through, you always have to self-reflect, self-awareness, and self-reflect. What could I have done differently? Why did I let him come back? So there's really it's always a learning process, lessons learned from these dating situations. Yeah. Me personally, after he ghosted me for a month, I would be so unbothered. Like he wouldn't be able to have another date with me anytime soon. So just because people circle the block doesn't necessarily give them a pass to come back in your life.
But what if you just you're kind of... Me, myself, is kind of like not using him, but just being like, well, I want something to do that day too. So like, fuck it, he can come around the block again. Right.
So if it's the first thing you have to do is determine your dating style. Mm-hmm. If you're dating for intentions, if you're dating to become married, dating out of boredom is always it's a waste of time, and it's always going to leave you second guessing yourself and always in confusion.
Okay, I get that. 100% get that. But that was my weekend and how that went. I have other questions for you guys. Well, for you. Do you have any questions for her actually? Because you've been in a relationship for 7 years, right?
I have. Yeah.
How's that going?
It's going good. You know. We're just two human beings living together and loving each other, and you know, he's a good soul.
Awesome.
So, do you want to get married?
Someday.
Mm-hmm.
Someday.
Yep.
Probably an elopement. I wouldn't want like a big wedding or anything like that. Something private and quiet.
A getaway wedding. I would love to do that.
Yes.
Okay, so I have some questions for you to answer for me. This is just me, and then some comments I also got. How do I identify and break patterns that no longer serve me?
Self-reflection and self-awareness. The why. Why do you let these people come back and circle the block? And you said one for boredom.
Yeah.
You have to figure out. You have to figure out that why. Why do you keep? You have to focus on your self-worth. Like, if they ghosted you, there's no reason to let them come back into your lives. Not boredom, nothing could let that man come back in my life after he has ghosted me for a month.
God. No, she's right. She's right. She's 100% right. No, I 100%. Because with my followers, I always say I know my self-worth. Because I do, like, I drop men quickly. I do. If I don't like something, I drop him. If I know, like, for example, the guy that I told him he's coming from Vermont. Well, he did. That I did it knowing what I was going to come in the outcome, but I wasn't expecting more from him. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of knew what I was getting myself into just doing that. But I'm all about self-worth. But I can see that too, because somebody actually dropped a comment the other day and said, Elsa, you talk about self-worth, but you're doing the mistakes that you shouldn't be doing, you know? But I 100% get that.
Yeah. Because, I mean, boredom can open you up for a lot of silly things. Like, when you're bored, I'm not going to lie. Like, sometimes if I'm bored, if I get that text, I will entertain it. I will entertain it out of boredom, but would I let it go far? No, I won't. No.
That's where I'm at. I don't believe anything that man said. Actually, it's funny. He messaged me the other day, random. And I was like, that day I was bored, and I don't want to keep entertaining this and keep wasting my time regardless. Because at the end of the day, self-worth is more important.
Yes.
You know? Okay. How can I stop overthinking or self-sabotaging during dating?
What leads to your overthinking? Give me an example of the overthinking.
My failed problems, my failed datings from the past. I guess I just don't believe, or I want to see more from somebody that I don't see from before.
I think it really, you really have to sit down with yourself and figure out your style of dating and what your pros and cons are, your negotiables and non-negotiables. You have to make a list of what you're willing to settle for. You're not going to find the perfect guy out there. You're just not. And you have to figure out what your non-negotiables are. Reflect. Look at all your past relationships and figure out what made you feel good in those relationships and what didn't make you feel good in those relationships, and then put a plan in place from there.
So I gotta pretty much.
You have some homework to do.
Yeah, I got homework to do, guys. Do you want to check the comments to see if anybody have any questions?
Sure.
Before I keep going, because I have several, girls. And then we have a game at the end.
Yeah. I also have the question that you have me screenshot.
Oh, yeah. That one. That one's a long one. Let's see.
What is? I might have my glasses on.
That's okay. Let's see. Does that lead to disappointment? Andrea asked. I don't want to say that we need to lower our standards, because definitely not. Does that lead to disappointment?
So when I say, so what happened, this is what happens, right? What I've found out there is that we can become delusional, you know? When it comes, we can be very delusional when it comes to standards. And oftentimes our standards are so high up there, which is okay, but oftentimes we don't give what we want. And what I've noticed is that when you meet someone, they're actually a mirror. So there's something about them that you need to learn from them, and they need to learn from you. And oftentimes what happens is we attract what we are and not what we think we are. So sometimes we put ourselves on this pedestal and we're not there yet. There's a lot of self-work, shadow work that we need to do within ourselves. So if you keep finding yourself attracting the same type of person, there's something within yourself that you need to work on.
No, I love this. Thank you so much. She's putting me back. No, this is what I need to know. No, because sometimes I do. It's not that I'm not humble, but I work so hard to be where I'm at right now that I don't want to accept anything less. You know what I'm saying? So it's just part of that part. that gets me confused and honestly maybe a little bit delusional. But I like the delusional word.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Yeah. So for me, I've been married for 18 years and then separated for 4 years. And during the 4 years, I had to do a lot of self-reflecting. I had to, look in the mirror and own my stuff. What failed in a relationship? What part did I play in there? It wasn't just one-sided. So taking accountability and knowing that you weren't perfect as well in relationships and finding ways to work on that takes a lot of work. And people often wonder why I'm single for so long. Working on yourself, it's not something that you can do overnight. It really takes time. It really takes a lot of work to look in the mirror and say, and own your stuff and say, oh my God, you have some work to do. So until you can work on yourself and improve your behaviors and your habits, you will then attract a better suitor for your partnership moving forward.
Okay.
I truly believe in that.
I can see that because I like I told you before, I've been single almost 7 years. So I worked on myself physically. I would say mentally too, because I always tell people that you can't really be fixed outside if inside's not fixed, So I've been working on myself that way, but the reflection itself, you made a great point that I gotta do, guys. I definitely gotta do. All right, I have a couple more questions for you. When we're talking about timing, how soon is too soon to talk about being exclusive?
So I would like to say there's no timeline on, you have to know chemistry versus, a lot of people get that attraction because of chemistry, and that can be in the moment. You really want to look for partnership, compatibility, standards, morals. So as soon as that person can demonstrate that to you consistently, you're looking for consistency. And sometimes people show up temporarily. They gaslight you, they love bomb you, and they can come off as a fraud when it comes to those things. So you really have to take time with that, learning their. One thing people always ask me, how do I know? You have to trust yourself. Trusting yourself is when you know. Self-love, doing the work, that's when you know. I make good decisions when it comes to home and all of that. And I've learned I trust myself.
Yeah.
I trust myself in my decision making. So when you met the right person. You have to take time, but you will know. Do not ignore the red flags or the yellow flags. If there's yellow flags, proceed with caution. Red flags, a hard no.
I'd be like, covering my eyes. All right. How do I handle slow replies or mixed signals?
I'm sorry, I was reading the comments.
It's okay.
Can you then?
We have comments going on. Sorry, we have 2 lives going on. So if you see Wonder looking down, it's because of questions. Do they have any questions?
They do. I can't.
Oh
keep
yeah.
up with- Michelle, do you?
Because I'm also a blind girl. Yeah. If you
Okay.
have any questions, please.
What is this? Someone said, "What is this?" This is a podcast.
This is a podcast. Buenos dias, bitches. You probably missed the introduction.
Yep. Let's see. Another question. I'm looking.
Probably statements.
A lot of statements.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, there's a lot of
They're
that
mean
Delulu going
statements.
on.
No,
as
what
we
is-
What are the
speak.
statements?
So we got just got the number 3. Oh, I just went away. Number 3 gifter badge.
Oh,
sorry,
we got a
guys.
gift.
Oh, there's a lot of Delulu going on as we speak. Someone else said, right, but a lot of women think they can fix a dude, and that's not how it goes. Someone else said, I mean, if I have a career, they better have one too. Someone else said, working on ourselves is loving ourselves before loving a spouse. That's very eye-opening. I can see why self-improvement is important. And that's kind of it. Yeah.
All
Let's
right.
start.
Thanks.
Well,
Awesome. Thank you.
Statements.
Thank you guys for the comments. If you have any more questions and if you have missed introductions, we are talking to a dating coach. She's over here. Her name is Wonder. This is my podcast, Buenos Dias, Bisshes, with my co-host, Michelle. We're also live on YouTube, so if you want to go check it out, it's Elsa Girl You Crazy. All right, we're going to continue with the questions. We have a couple more left. So I was asking you earlier, how do I handle slow replies or mixed signals?
Well, one thing we have to realize is that when we're dating, there's no obligation. Like that person is not obligated to you. So even though morally, it's not a nice thing when they don't reply, but they don't owe you anything during the dating stages. And I think that's one thing that we need to understand. You know, there's no commitment there. So they, if they don't respond, they don't respond. What's your next move is the question. You know,
What is our
yeah.
next move?
I mean, it's up to you. I mean, for me, if for during the talking stage, it's important to communication style. You know, how do you communicate? It's texting. I'm a phone call person. Have that conversation. Have that dialogue so that there's clarity around communication styles. And then once you both determine a communication style, then if that person did not fall through with listening to one of your expectations, then on to the next.
Okay, on to the next.
On to the next. And then when they do text you, I often say, "Who's this?" Because you got to let them know. You know, it's been a week, and I've told you this is not the form of communication that I like. I don't even know who you are anymore.
Oh, okay. I don't even know who you are anymore. That's gonna be my new one. I like that. I love that. That ate. Okay. This is one that you mentioned earlier that I was curious to ask. How do I spot love bombing versus natural, genuine interest? What's the difference?
Love bombing is a lot very soon, early on, like overly, you know, giving you compliments, a lot of compliments, you have to be really secure within yourself. An insecure person, men test your waters when it comes to compliments. You know, when they compliment you, just say thank you. You know what I mean? And when they keep going at it, your response is key. It's crucial on how you respond to compliments. Insecure woman really feeds into that. Like, oh my God, like thank you. What do you like about me? Why me? Why not you? Have that confidence. Never ask a guy why me. Why not you?
Okay.
Own that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You
Yes,
have to be
ma'am.
confident within yourself and don't let compliments
Eat you up.
eat you up. Don't fall for the trap.
Don't fall for the trap.
You are beautiful. You should know that.
Mm-hmm. And we do.
When you dress nice, you know you look good. Own that. So when he says you look good, thank you.
Yeah. Just be like, thank you.
Yeah.
I already know.
You do too. You do too. Thank you.
You do too. Okay, gotta be nice. You do too. All right, so now we are at the game portion of our. Oh wait, actually, we have one last question from that.
Oh, yes.
We had a DM, a special DM
From Instagram.
from Instagram.
This-
Don't say her name though. She
I
said she
will
wanted
not say her
anonymous.
name. So anonymous.
Somebody
asked-
said yes, ma'am.
So anonymous asked. Let's see.
Let's see what she's asked.
When meeting new people while dating, I find it difficult to never talk to them again if it doesn't work out, so I will allow them to follow me on social media. I think I know where this comes from, but I'm interested to know your thoughts on that and how to gracefully let them go.
I would like to say, when you know that someone's interested in you, do not let them follow you on social media. They form a perception of you by your memes, the way you post, the way you talk. People form judgments about you. I have two different pages. I have my personal page where only my family and friends follow me, and then I have a business page. Oftentimes, business people try to follow me on my personal page. I do not let them. If a man's interested in me, I do not let them follow me on any of my social media platforms. They judge you. Yeah. You know, they prejudge you. So, and they form a perception about you. So, that's one of my rules. Just if someone's interested in you, hold off on letting them follow you on social media.
Okay, you heard that, ladies. Don't let them follow you. We don't need them followers. Okay, so at the end of this podcast that we're doing, what time is it, by the way?
It is 3:37.
Dang, right on the dot. Okay, so at the end of this podcast, Buenos Dias, bitches, we're gonna do 5 fast questions that you have to say really quick, and that's your quick answer.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Not Wonder. Ready? All right, put the camera on her, please.
Okay.
Facing Wonder. Ready? Biggest dating red flag in one word.
Inconsistency.
Oof. Okay. Text or call?
Call.
First date, coffee or cocktails?
Either.
Neither?
Either or. Yeah.
Okay. Ghosting. Is it ever justified?
No. But it happens.
That happens. Okay. Dating advice you wish everyone would ignore.
I wish everyone would ignore that you're in a relationship. Like, they confuse the two. And dating is totally separate from relationship. You're collecting data while you're dating. There's no commitment there. Stop expecting a lot while you're dating. It's important to ask the questions. Okay, we've been dating for 3 weeks now, 1 month now, 2 months now. Where are we going from here? What is this? Define what it is, because the more clarity you get around your dating situation, the better you're able to understand where you're at in that dating phase.
Okay. Well, that was the end of that question. Thank you so much. Now we're going to do one last thing. The reason we all got together is because we are having our own show called
Pick or Pop.
Yeah, that we're bringing it to Brockton. Brockton is where we at, and where we actually are is the Brockton Cable Access. Thank you so much, Michelle. And with that being said, we have a special show that's coming up, and she, Miss Wonder, is the one helping us find pretty much bachelorettes and bachelors that are looking to find some love.
Absolutely. There's a question in the comments that I would like to address. How can we value ourselves?
Ooh, how can we value ourselves?
And I think one of the ways you can value yourself is thinking about your past relationships and how you were treated, and knowing that you deserve better. One of the things is you have to look deep within yourself. Why? I'll always answer the why. Why did I stay in this relationship for so long? Self-reflection is extremely important. So when you in those relationships, always ask yourself a why question. Why did I stay in it for so long? Why did I ignore after the relationship ends, you always say, oh my God, I should have known. It was right there in front of my face. Ask yourself, why did you ignore it? Once you can answer the whys and process the information from your past and learn from it, then you can put a plan in place and know that you deserve better.
I like that answer, Ms. I almost called Miss Whitney. Miss Wonder. All right, well, that's our show's called Pick or Pop's coming out. Do you want to tell them what it's about?
So Pick or Pop is gonna be a fun dating game show. Ooh. We're gonna put the candidates behind curtains, and we're gonna try to see if people match based on personality. First.
And then second, you guys get to choose how you look. So stay tuned to that. It's a brand new project that we're working on. I'm going to put a survey on my Instagram, which is Elsa Girl You Crazy, where you guys can click there. And if you are from Massachusetts, you're more than welcome to join a new show. What is one thing you want every listener to remember about dating, Miss Wonder?
During the dating stages, you are collecting data. You are not in a relationship. Do not assume that you're in a relationship. There is a thing called long-term dating. So even when you're thinking about becoming intimate during the dating stages, have a conversation with the suitor, the partner, the dater. Ask them, if we do become intimate, what does that mean to you? Intimacy brings a lot of emotion. It changes the game. Once you're intimate with someone, it's a game changer. So before you become intimate, when you know you're on this date and you're around this person and you feel like you want to take the next step, have that conversation with the person. Don't just go to bed with them and then wake up the next morning and think it's going to automatically lead into something else. It's important to have these conversations while you're dating.
Okay. Noted. Noted. No, seriously, because there's some. You know what? Before we end this, when is the right time to get intimate? Or what part of the talking stage?
The thing is, no, the talking stage, you shouldn't be. The talking stage is even deciding whether you want to go on the first date. But it really, like you mentioned earlier, we are adults here. So just know that there are consequences when you do not have these important conversations. So during the talking stages, have these important conversations to decide whether you want to go on the first date. Go on the first date. See what it feels like. If it leaves you confused, if you have more questions, that's a yellow flag. Question that. If there's chemistry there and you don't like the things that the person is saying or doing and they're not leading you in the right direction with your thoughts, but they can lead you in the bedroom, that's a problem. Oftentimes we let these men lead us to the bedrooms, but they can't even lead us in life. So be careful with that type of stuff.
No, she's ready. She's like, I can't lead you in life. Do you want to take one more look if we have any more comments before we sign off?
There's no more comments on TikTok.
There's no more?
No.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we leave, can you please let us know your social media handles?
Yes, I have a website, datingresetpodcast.com, where you can click on there, get a free e-guide with questions to ask on your first date and during the talking phases. I can also be found on Facebook, Dating Reset Podcast on Facebook, and on Instagram is dating_reset. I can be found on that as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Remember, it's Elsa Girl, You Crazy, here with
Michelle.
and Miss
Wonder.
Wonder. She's our dating coach for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Awesome sauce.